Hello, today we're going to talk about a classic from way back, the creature that ate Sheboygan from SPI in 1879. There's a few different versions of it. I have the SPI boxed version, which is 9 by 11.5 inches, about an inch and a quarter thick. As always, I appreciate subscriptions if you like what I'm doing. It's another great game from the game design of Greg Kostakayan. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Graphic design by Redmond A. Simonson. Illustration by Charles Voss. It's kind of hard to find out there because it's quite a good game, and happy to get a copy. This type of art I really like a lot because it doesn't take it too serious. It's kind of got dramatic elements to it. You obviously see what's going on. Seeing a monster wiping out a city, of course. This kind of art looks really great, just on a bookshelf or display even. Back is good description. Rising from the murky depths, the reptilian behemoth takes the highway, shambling ever nearer with its havoc in its cruel heart to metropolitan Sheboygan. The sun darkens. A wind, as from the beating of demonic wings, lashes fearful upturned faces. With a sudden hellish streak, the nightmare beast descends. And you can do several different types of monsters, of course. The creature at Ate Sheboygan allows players to select a monster of their choice to do battle with police and National Guard amid the panic and confusion of a middle American city under a horrific siege. Claims to be low level of complexity, 90 minutes. High suitability for solitaire, which is nice. Content. I'm not clear if the game was supposed to come with dice or not. I know some versions of it don't have dice. I'm not sure if the box version does. But in any case, I got a old SPI dice to go with it, and be able to find some SPI dice on eBay, which is good. Rulebook, just 4 pages, black and white. Got the charts and tables. Terrain effects chart, building instruction results table, combat results table. A couple of those. It's a 2-player game, but it can be played solitaire as well, as I say. And this is something you have to develop. It doesn't come with the game, but it talks about how to do this. You have to have a record sheet of the monster, and it shows you how to do that. I mean, you could just do like a recipe card like I've shown here, where you have define your monster, special abilities, attack strength, defense strength, building destruction movement, and then your different special abilities up here. Or you can be a little more formal about it, and Board Game Geek too has some similar approaches, but this works for me. I just put this together with your special abilities defined here, attack strength, defense strength, building destruction, movement allowance. So you just got to kind of keep track of all that. So here's all the counters, 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch, standard thickness, 100 of them. I know there's some purists out there that don't like to clip the corners, but if I get a game I'm not going to plan on trading off and play, it makes the counters a little bit cleaner on the edges. I like to clip them off, and I got a nice corner on them. That's all the counters, and here's the unique ones. And they're all one-sided. Not a whole bunch of unique counters, but plenty here to do the job. These are like for randomization. If you don't have a die, you have these chits, 1 through 6. And then here we have, so generally you have the combat strength, the range, and movement allowance. So here we have the police, firemen, National Guard, infantry, helicopter, fireboat, and some counters only have defensive strength, it's shown there. National Guard surplus tanks, National Guard artillery, populace, different monsters. You choose the characteristics of your monster and then just select one of these which best looks at kind of the image you're trying to convey. Web marker, rubble marker, these are fire markers. Then there's a couple ones that are just blank. I don't think I'll need those. Here's a map, kind of basic, but it gets the job done. It's 11 by 17, and it's thickish paper. For games like this, I tend to put the paper maps under glass just for play purposes. You got the windrows that talks which direction the wind is going, and then movement and range is defined by the various squares and rectangles. So you have a bridges, tunnel, river, street, park, low building, and high buildings. Sequence of play. It's played in game turns. Each game turn is divided into a monster player turn and a human player turn. Each player moves and resolves combat in his respective turn. Monster player turn. Monster movement phase. The monster player may move his monster up to the limit of his movement allowance. In addition, 3 times during his movement, the monster may pause to execute building destruction attempts. Destruction attempts are an effort to turn buildings in the map into rubble. Monster combat phase. The monster player resolves all attacks his monster makes against human units. Human player turn. Human movement phase. Human player may move any or all of his units. Human combat phase. The human player resolves all attacks by his units against a monster. Fire phase. First, all firemen and fireboat units able to put out fires may do so. Then the human player determines which way the wind is blowing and if any fires of the map spread. And then victory conditions and scenarios. The game ends when the monster dies, or when all human units have been eliminated, or when the monster's victory level is exceeded. If all human units are eliminated, the monster player wins automatically. Otherwise, the player's total number of victory points the monster player receives, and refer to the scenario listings. If the total is greater than the monster victory level listed in the scenario, the monster player wins. If equal, the game is draw. The monster player receives 5 victory points for each populous unit eliminated. As many victory points for eliminating each unit as combat strength, attack or defensive non-populous units. 3 victory points for each destroyed low building, 5 for each destroyed high building box, and 5 for each destroyed bridge box. And then scenarios. The learning scenario, the human player has 25 initial strength points. The monster has 13. No special abilities or helicopters may be used. The monster victory level is 25 victory points. Basic scenario. The human player has 32 initial strength points. The monster has 18. No helicopter or fire attack abilities are allowed. Monster victory level is 32 victory points. Advanced scenario A. The human player has 44 initial strength points. The monster has 30. All rules are used, and the monster victory level is 40 victory points. That's the scenario I'll be doing. Advanced scenario B. The human player has 60 initial strength points. The monster has 40. All rules are used, and the monster victory level is 55 victory points. Then the city-eating scenario. The human player has 60 initial strength points. The monster has 25. Each time the monster destroys a box, he may increase any of his strengths by 2 points, or 2 strengths by 1 point. For destroying other adjacent human units, he may increase his strength by 1 point. All rules are used, and the monster victory level is 55 victory points. Setting up to play here. So, I'll be playing against myself. So the human player doesn't know all the information on the monster record sheet, but let's kind of keep them separate. So I'm doing advanced scenario A, where the human player gets 44 strength points and the monster gets 30. I'm going to make kind of a smaller Godzilla, I guess. Go with fire breathing, which costs 8. And then give myself a movement allowance of 2, so now I'm up to 10. Building destruction of 6, so I'm 16. Defense strength of 7, so I'm at 23. Attack strength of 7, so I'm up to 30 now. So that's the monster. And I'll use this indicator to represent my mini Godzilla there. And the humans get 44 strength points to expend. They get the populous units for free, and they go on where the populous markers are here, across the board. Then decided to get 6 infantry, so 3 each. So a total of 18 points there. 2 artillery for 5 each, so 10 there, so 12, 28. Couple tanks, which are 6 each, so now we're up to 40. And then 3 police cars, which are 1 each, so up to 43. And then a helicopter, so up to 44. So a 2-player game. The monster first writes down in secret which map edge he's coming in on. But since I'm just the 1 player, I'll randomize that after I place the human units. So it kind of made sense. I decided to put all the military units in the parks here. So I got, in this park, I got the, 4 infantry, 1 artillery, 1 tank, and in this one I have 2 infantry and artillery and a tank. Kind of made sense to start them in parks there. Then I got the police kind of going around, couple on this side of the river, 1 on this side, got the helicopter up there. And then I'll randomize what side it's going on. I'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So monster's going to be coming up on this side. So we'll start the first turn here with the monster coming down. He's coming from the north there. I guess he must have come along in Lake Michigan there. He's got 2 movement, and movement point cost here on streets is 1. So go here, and you can do up to 3 building destruction attempts. He's only going to do 2, but he's going to. Then you have to allocate how many destruction points you use for each. It's low building destruct strength is 2. Actually, he'll use 4 points on the first attempt. So it's 4 to 2 or 2 to 1. 5 destroyed. Then he'll move 1 more. Try to destroy this one across the street here. So for a second destruct attempt, he's only got 2 destruct points left. And again, it's a low building which has a destruct strength of 2, so it's 1 to 1. 3, no effect. Now it's the humans' turn. The citizens of Sheboygan here. So the populace, they probably think an earthquake happened or something. They heard that building collapse, so they're going to get out of these buildings. They can move 1. And the movement cost of park terrain is 2, and they only have 1, but they can always move to the adjacent one regardless, as long as they use all their movement points. And they'll just kind of move towards the shore here. These move out of the building. The ones across the river here will just stay where they're at. Then I move the police. They're going to try to evacuate some of this populace here. They can move 3, but they'll move here. Because when the populace starts their turn next on the police unit, they can go with them. So they'll go on top of them to help evacuate them. Similarly here, they'll go up to evacuate them. And he'll come over here to see what's going on. Helicopter. He's going to check out what's going on, of course. They just have 1 movement point cost because they're just flying over stuff. This is as far as I can make it. Then we'll do the army. Again, 1 movement cost. And the cost is going to the train, and they're going in the street, so it's 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3 tanks. 2. Looks like these guys are falling behind in the park a little bit here. 2. And these guys will go through the tunnel. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And you can stack two units together. I'll be doing that, so 1, 2, 3. Stacking with him. 1, 2. So mini Godzilla here isn't too excited about all these troops coming down here, so he's gonna kind of go this direction. And he's gonna try to reduce buildings to rubble, and he's also gonna start doing flames. And it doesn't say, so there you can do 3 times the building destruct and 3 times the flames. It doesn't say you can't do both of them, so I assume you can do both. You move 1 here to destruct on this one, and he's just gonna use all his destruct on this one, which would give him, it's got 6 points versus the 2, so it's 3 to 1. 4, which is good, he used all those because he's able to destroy that. So it's reduced to rubble. And then he'll move here. He doesn't have any destruct left, so he can't do any more, but he'll do 3 flame attempts. One on this one. So he rolled die on a 1, 2, or 3. A fire started. So again, he's going up here. Fire started. And he put the 1 is on the bottom there. And he's going to try in this building as well. Doesn't succeed. He gets one more try though. Doesn't succeed again. But there's 1 fire going. And there's nothing within range of him to combat yet. So we'll go back to the humans. So the police are going to try to evacuate the populace to the park here. And they're carrying a populace unit here so they can go the speed of the police. So 1, 2, 3. So I'll just stay on the police car for the next turn to get further evacuated. And this one also, so it's good they're getting away from the action there. 1, 2, 3, again going to the park. Helicopter will stay where it is because it's within range of the monster now. He's got a range of 2. This one's going to keep going, seeing what's going on here. He's going over to the bridge. 1, 2, 3. And the rest of the populace, yeah, he wants to get away, so. There towards the park. He's going to the bridge. Getting away. Going towards the tunnel. He's just going to get out of the building. Then the troops. So you can stack two humans per thing, so they might start stacking here a little bit. So 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. So they're stacked together. 1, 2, 3. He's only got a movement of 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He'll be stacked with him. This unit will, so 1, 2, 3. He's able to come out now. These guys are going through the tunnel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the tank, but the infantry can only go 3. Artillery, 1, 2. He'll stick with the artillery. So since the monster did his firing, now they know to do that. So they get the fireman units. You can either get 4 fireman units or 3 fireman units in a fireboat. In case the monster gets down here, he's going to put a fireboat there. Then he can put his fireman units. He's going to put one right where the fire is, because he can put them anywhere except like right where the monster is. Put one there, of course. And they'll get them set up to adjacent to close by buildings here, I think. It's going to keep one a little bit back here so he's not going to be attacked by the monster. So since the fireman started in that box with the fire, he's able to put the fire out. And then combat. So the helicopter is within range of 2, but his attack to defense ratio would be 1 to 7, since the monster has a defense strength of 7. And that's, off the charts here, so he's not going to be able to do that. So then we'll go back to the monster's turn. So he's going to keep marching down the street here, just trying to destroy buildings. So he's going to, first of all, try to destroy. So he's got 6 points. He's going to use 2 against this one for a building destruct attempt. So it's 1 to 1. 6. Successful. So that turns to rubble. If it was a bridge reduced to rubble, the firemen would also be destroyed, but it's a building, and buildings destroyed don't destroy the units in them, so the fireman's still okay. And then he's going to move 1, he's going to try his building destruct on this one, which is, so he's got 4 destruct points left, and against 4 for the tall building. 4. It's 1 to 1, no effect. So now he's going to do his 3 flame attempts. Try 1 on this building. No? One on this building? Yes. Flame starts there. And then he'll do his last movement here. And then try another flame on that one. 3. Flame starts. And he doesn't have any combat right next to him that he can do. So I'm going to go to the human player. Start moving his units closer in, of course. Couple infantry here. 1, 2, 3. Still not adjacent yet. These police are going to keep evacuating. So 1, 2, 3. And then he's going to drop that passenger off there, indicating by that. He'll stay in the park. He'll go 1, 2. To pick up that passenger next turn. He'll stay where he's at. He'll continue evacuating. He's got a passenger. 1, 2, 3. Keep moving out. He'll get right across the tunnel, but you can't have more than 2 humans in a area, so he can't cross. Helicopter's not doing too much good there. He's not strong enough to attack the monsters, so he's gonna back off and maybe join the troops. Stay there. He wants to try to get in line of sight of the monster there. Tank will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He'll stack with the artillery. He'll try to move in line of sight too. Getting close. Now the firemen moving. Obviously they want to get these fires to put them out. So the cost to get into a high building is 3. And they have a movement of 3, so they can't quite get in there yet. So they're right here. Also, they can't get into that high building yet. They can next turn, but they don't have enough points this turn. It's going to stay where he's at. The firebow will be moving over here. Then he advanced the fire, so it's down here. Starting to burn the building a little bit. And go back to the monster. So he's going to engage these troops down here, but he's going to move first, try to destroy some buildings. Here. The buildings here they're 4 defense. He has 6 building destruction, and you reduce it in favor of the defender. If he goes 3 to 4, it'll be a 1 to 2. So he'll do that on each. He'll do a 3 to 4, 3 to 4, which will be a 1 to 2. And then so we'll check it out here. You can only destroy him on a 6. Nope, it's not able to destroy him, but he'll try some fire. So we'll do 3 fire attempts. 1 here. Nope. 2. He'll do 2 here. There's a fireman there that would put it on anyway, so. Yeah, fire starts there. He can make another attempt here. I mean, the fireman will put it out first anyway. Nope. Sun combat. So he's in range of these 2 infantry. And he has attack strength of 7. He's just going to attack one of them. So he's got 2 to 1 on him. So he'll do that. 2 to 1 attack. So you look at the train combat effects. And in the street there's no combat effect. In some, like low buildings, high buildings, you get 2 times the defense. But they're right in the street here. So it's a straight, 2 to 1. 3. The effect on attacker and then defender. So the defender loses 1 unit and the creature loses 1 point. So you take off the infantry. It's lost. And the monster is reduced. Well, if his defense strength is reduced, you can choose which one and it'll reduce down to 6. Then the human player goes. So the firemen are going to move into these buildings to put out these fires when it's the fire phase, but they'll move here now. He's within range. The tank can move up. He wants to attack combined with the infantry there. So he'll move up here. He's not in range yet. He's in range. The artillery's in range though, and he's got a line of sight as well. It's not blocked by building. And he's got a line of sight here because there's a line between the two boxes there. They're out of range. He'll go into the park. The policeman will come up here to evacuate some more. He'll come here. Continue evacuating. Continue evacuating. He'll indicate he's dropped him off by that. Keep getting away from the action. Stay where he's at. Fireboat will move up here. Then we have some combat going on. So we have a few items in range here that can attack. It's got a tank, infantry, another tank, and artillery. So I'm going to combine some of them. The combat strength is here, and the defense strength of the monster is 6. So they're going to do this. It's a 1-to-1 with this a tank to the monster. So I'll do a 1-to-1 combat there. Got a 6. 1-to-1. Defender takes 2 damage. That's good. Again, the monster can decide which one. They're willing to lose a couple building destruction. So we'll get down to 4 there. So that's the tank. And now we have these 3. We have a total of 3, 9, 14. I'm going to do a tank again, which is a straight 1-to-1 there. 4. So they take 1 damage and they retreat 1 box. And they can retreat up here. Take 1 damage. This time they'll take it on the attack strength. And now we have, unfortunately by that attack, since he retreated, now this infantry is out of range, so we can't do anything. But this artillery is still in range. It's got 5. So it's a 5 to 6, and the ratio goes down in the defender's favor. So he goes down to 1-to-2. 3. He would normally take 1 damage on this, but since he's not adjacent, he doesn't suffer any damage from the monster, so he's okay. So that's that combat. And in the fire phase, the firemen are right here now, so they can put out these fires. So that's good. But this one advances since there's no firemen there. So you indicate by showing that. Since this fire wasn't put out right away, you kind of see how it spreads, and you look at, first of all, seeing the wind direction here. 6 means it's calm, but you still have to roll for adjacent buildings to see if it's spread. 6. That fire has spread. On a roll of 6 it spreads. Now it's in that box as well. So that's Creature at Ate Sheboygan from SPI in 1979. Really enjoyable game. I know it's really popular for its time. It's hard to find out there, but if you can find a copy, definitely do that. Especially the boxed one. It's nice to have it nice display on the shelf there. It's pretty straightforward to play as far as combat and movement. It's neat that you can develop your monsters with different characteristics. Unfortunately, you have to put together your own record sheet. I kind of wish there was a record sheet in there you could use that would add something to it, but still a great game. It's a lot of strategy and a lot of replayability, of course, since you have a lot of different kinds of monsters and different scenarios. I definitely recommend it. Give an 8 out of 10. Thanks a lot.